F&I managers out there, if you want to make more in F&I, you want to sell more products, you got to do an introduction. You got to get out to your customer fast and furious. Even before the deal is consummated, gather information about your customer, learn things about your customer's driving habits, verify all the details of the deal, and that's how you're going to make more money. What I'm about to share with you is going to change your life. You got to realize that when a customer buys a car and the sales consultant looks at him and says, next step is I'm going to introduce you to a finance manager, or the guy in the back who's going to try to sell you something, or whatever they say. I've often talked about the 3-point turn, how the sales consultant has to transfer trust, has to allow you to set expectations, and allows the F&I process in your dealership to be endorsed. Simple fact is, instead of having the sales consultant say, next step is you got to see that F&I guy, teach him the 3-point turn. Teach him how to introduce you properly. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, now that you completed the sale of the vehicle, the next step is to one of our financial services managers who's going to set up all the paperwork, transfer ownership over to you. Let me go see if he's available. I'll be right back. And that allows you to set the timeline, because you're going to go out and meet and greet the customer and do a wonderful introduction. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be done on the showroom floor, but you definitely want to invite your customer into your office, because there's questions in their mind that need to be answered. I mean, who are you? What do you do? And how long is this going to take? Do you care about me, or do you just care about a commission? And should I really be listening to you? Is what you're going to give me a benefit? Those are the questions that are in the customer's mind. They have to be answered favorably. And how do you answer them favorably? By giving every customer that you encounter what I call the DIMTY. Do I matter to you? Because once that customer gets the feeling that they do matter to you, the results are going to fall off the chart. Seriously. So how do you do an introduction? You simply go out, congratulate the customer. That's the first thing. That's how you solidify the deal. Congratulations on the purchase of a new car. My name's Gerry Gould. Tell them what you do. I'm the financial services manager. I'm going to set up all the paperwork, transfer ownership over to you, review your financial lease options or any options that you have, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Start off on the right foot. So what is it that we need to accomplish on the F&I introduction? First thing we need to do is we need to verify all the information. We need to know who the driver of the vehicle is. Are you the principal driver of the vehicle? You need to verify the vehicle that they're buying. How many times have you been in a situation where the VIN number was wrong, or the customer didn't realize the miles on the vehicle? So you got to go through that with them. You got to go over the details of the paperwork, the details of the vehicle. You got to review the credit application so you're not sidetracked or blindsided when you go to talk to a lender. Review that application. Simply look at the main points of the application: the time on the job, the time at their residence, their income. Is it verifiable? You should be asking, who filled out the credit application? Did you fill out the credit application? Or did the sales consultant fill out the application? You want to gather information about your customer. Some of the most important points are how many miles a year they drive, how long they plan on keeping the car. You know, I often talk about the riskometer. What is the riskometer? Riskometer is how much risk is that customer willing to take. And you can find that out by asking them what their insurance deductible is. I mean, if they say it's a $200 deductible, they don't like to take a risk. They'd rather pay a lower premium and face a higher deductible later on. Or how about the customer says, I got a $1,000 deductible? They're risk takers. They'd rather pay the higher premium knowing that they're probably not going to end up paying that $1,000 deductible. What about, do you have pets riding along? Do you have children riding along? These are questions that you should be asking your customer. You know, after you took the test drive, what you think of all the technology. These are things that are going to make an awareness in their mind, but also give you something to tell them later when you go to try to close them. The you told me so's, or you mentioned to me earlier. Gather this information from the customer. There's a number of questions that you should ask. In fact, in this video later on, I'm going to show you a live introduction and the questions that should be asked. And the interaction, you're going to make it conversational. So let's now take a look at exactly what the F&I introduction should look like. Now, I'm doing it live with a customer in the F&I office. And then after you're done with your introduction, while you're printing the paperwork, send the customer out to service and have them set up their first oil change. After all, many of the manufacturers today are offering 2 to 3 years of free maintenance. So set up the first oil change and then make that conversational. You know, how often you like to change your oil? Every 5,000 miles? Great. We'll set it up for every 5,000 miles. How many miles a year do you usually drive? And how long do you plan on keeping the car? Because keep in mind, the manufacturer is giving you 2 or 3 years of maintenance. Let's set it up properly. And that's how you start the F&I introduction. Remember, congratulations on the purchase of your new car. That's a great choice. Let's get right into it.
Jim, congratulations on the purchase of your new Hyundai. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Beautiful color, too. That's a new color this year. All right, well, my name's Gerry Gould. I'm the Financial Services Manager. I wanted to introduce myself and congratulate you. And then I wanted to share with you what I do. I do 3 things. I'm going to go over your repayment options. I'm going to answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to make sure all the paperwork's right, so we only print it once. Okay, great. Let's start off with the credit application, all right? Did you fill the credit application out, or did the salesman fill it out?
I filled it out.
Okay, great. So I just want to verify a couple things. You've been on the job 8 years. You've been at your residence for 8 years. This income that you've listed here, keep nodding your head yes, so that's an obvious yes, okay? This income that you listed here, is that net or gross income? Gross income. And is there any additional income you'd like to list on the application?
No,
all right. And that's where the vehicle is going to be principally garaged, at this address?
Correct.
All right, great. Now, is it going to be in a garage?
Yes, I actually have a garage.
Do you have a garage at work? So it won't be in a garage at work?
No.
Okay, I got you. All right. Let's review the figures, all right?
Okay.
This is the vehicle, 2021 Hyundai Sonata, all right? You're aware the vehicle is Crystal Fusion Black, right? The new color. All right. You realize the vehicle has 38 miles on it.
Yeah.
How many of those miles did you put on it?
Just 2 or 3 miles. Yeah.
Oh, so you took it for a quick test drive.
Yeah.
What'd you think of all the technology in the short time you drove it?
It's cutting edge for sure.
It certainly is. And this is what, your second or third Hyundai?
This is the second one.
The second one?
It's a little different this time.
Yeah, and you're trading it in, the 2014 Hyundai.
Yeah.
And the 2014 Hyundai, 65,000 miles on it. Now, when you purchase that Hyundai, we're going to pay that off, by the way. You owe $8,000, $8,300. We're going to pay that off to Bank of America. Is there any service contract gap or anything else that can help you get a refund on?
I actually bought a tire and wheel plan.
A tire and wheel program? Okay, so you get a refund back as a pro rata refund. Did you happen to use the tire and wheel program?
Once.
Once? Okay, so they're going to deduct what you used on the tire and wheel program,
Okay.
which is, normal procedure, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll look at and determine what type of refund you get. If there is money due back, did you want to apply it to the loan, or did you want to just have them send you a check?
They can just put it towards the car deal, yeah.
Okay, great. I'll figure that out before I finalize the paperwork. All right, so these are the figures you agreed to, all right? You've been approved for up to 72 months to pay for the vehicle. This is the payment you agreed to, and the interest rate, and the term, right? It says you're going to be putting $1,500 down.
Yeah.
If I could get you more favorable terms, I'm sure the bank is going to require more money down, but if I can get you more favorable terms, would you consider putting a little bit more money down?
I possibly could.
All right, well, I'll share that with you when we'll go back into my office, or when I print the final paperwork out. I'll share with you those options, all right? Have we notified your insurance company?
No, not yet. I was going to do that one.
Okay, it states here it's Allstate Insurance.
Yes.
Do you happen to know what your deductibles are?
500 on collision and 100 on comp.
Okay, great. And do you know if they're giving any type of discount for security systems or alarms or anything like that?
They probably do, I would imagine, but I don't know.
Do you want to look into that on your own?
Yeah, we can look into
Okay, that's great. Okay. The service. You live in Pittsburgh, and where do you usually like to service your vehicle?
If, I know I get some maintenance here with the car now.
Okay.
So I probably will bring it here at least for that period of time. This is a little bit far for me to come for service, but I would probably bring it
And
here.
how often do you think you'd bring it here for service? How many miles?
Probably every 7,500 miles.
Okay, that's a recommendation. And how long you plan on keeping this one?
Probably as at least as long as I'm financing the car.
All right. Okay, great.
5 to 6 years.
All right. And on average, how many miles a year do you drive?
12 to 15.
Okay, so that's about average. All right. So listen, I think I got all the information I need. Okay, I'm going to print up all the paperwork and then have you come in, sign all the paperwork, transfer ownership over to you. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to have Yvonne, your sales consultant, take you in the service, and we'll set up your first oil change. Okay?
Right.
Once again, we really appreciate the business. Congratulations. All right? I'll see you in about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Great.
So you just saw an example of how the introduction should be done. One of the first things you do, a reminder, is to congratulate the customer. That's how you solidify the deal. Compliment them. That's a great choice. Maybe say something about the vehicle that they purchased. What a nice color it is, or the accessories or equipment that it has, and wonderful. Those are the things that you do in order to give the customer that dimpy, a feeling like relieve their anxieties, relieve their apprehensions and their resistance. And that's how you do it. Some of the main things in that introduction that you just witnessed, we talked about making it conversational, having fun with it, put the customer at ease. Ask that maintenance question, which leads into how many miles a year they drive and how long they plan on keeping the car. We verified the information right up front as to where they're going to garage the car. They said they have a garage. Then I said, do they have a garage at work? Remember, you don't have a garage at work, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, so the vehicle is going to be out facing the elements. You want that fabric and paint treatment, right? So these are just some of the things that you do during the introduction. Another thing is, if you notice,
I reviewed the figures with them. And when I got to the down payment, I said to them, if I could get you more favorable terms, a little bit more money down. And what do I mean by favorable terms? Remember I said you've been approved for up to 72 months. Maybe they were approved up to 84 months. You can draw it back. You know, you have other options that are available to you. How often do I talk about dual payments on the menu? The customer comes in at 72 months, offer them a 75-month payment or an 84-month payment. They come in at 84 months, offer them that 72-month payment. And the favorable term is maybe you can lower the interest rate with a little bit more money down. These are the things that you're setting the stage for. When you know, the presentation is probably always going to be the same. That feature presentation we often talk about, but all this information that you're gathering is going to be beneficial when you go to close the customer. The other thing, do you have any pets riding along, children riding along, you know? And you get a sense of where they're at. I asked the deductible question. And at the very end, I said to them, while I'm setting up the deal, doing all the, getting all the paperwork ready, let's have your sales consultant set up your first oil change. And then before they left my office, I said to them one more time, thanks for the business. We really appreciate it. Now they go out, they set up their first oil change, everything's being solidified. Hopefully, the sales consultant did a somewhat of a facility tour while they took the customer out to the service department, showed them the customer lounge, showed them the wonderful facility that they have. And then they come back in and they're ready to sign the paperwork. Apprehensions and resistance lowered. They're going to listen to what you have to offer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, F&I managers out there, is the introduction. Until next time, go get 'em.